Hello everyone and welcome to Isms by Josie. Today we're going to be doing our second part of our two-part video series. Yesterday we did an infill using Model 1's kit with polygel and dual forms, and today we're going to be finishing our design featuring the Chicago Bears. So for the month of June, I'm honoring my husband's birthday by doing designs based on things that he likes, and he definitely likes the Chicago Bears. So I'm going to throw up the logo right here. We'll be using this to help me in this design, and right now I'm applying Sally Hensen's Insta Dry Nail Color, and the color for this is 493 Midnight Drive. So obviously I've picked this color to match the logo, the background of this logo, so that will become the background of our design. And I will also be using Born Pretty stamping polish because I have that in the orange and in the white. So this dried pretty fast and it covers very well. So I really only needed this one application, and because I let a full cure happen overnight with this, I sealed it with the Model 1's base coat, as you see here. So that seals that nail polish in, and I'm able to nail cleanse the rest of the nail. So any nail polish that got onto my skin was cleansed off afterward, so you don't need to worry about that. So I gave that a cure, and I am now applying the nail cleanse that I just spoke about. And I'm just giving this a good rub down on each nail. And as I said in my previous video, I'm not sealing underneath with the Midnight Drive color because I love the glitter coming through underneath. And that part is just for me. The top design is definitely for my husband, and the bottom part is for me. So when we get to applying the stamping polish on top, I'm just going to give you a few pieces of information. For me, I like sports. I've watched it ever since I was very little. More basketball, and then football came along later. But I never in a million years would have given a second thought about Chicago Bears. Sorry for anybody that's in Chicago. But it's always nice to douse yourself into your significant other's likes. So while doing these nails, I'm learning a bit about the Chicago Bears. And for anybody interested, I'm going to be throwing down some stats, throwing down some history and some info. And then I'm going to play a short, funny clip that was, I think it was like a commercial advertisement for a game against the Packers. So that should be funny. So this design is pretty straightforward. I'm going to be doing the design that's in the upper left corner. So there's not much to explain there, but let's get started on these stats. So the Chicago Bears was established September 17th, 1920. And they played in Soldier Field, Chicago, Illinois. As you see in the upper left is their official logo. And as you may or may not know, they're part of the National Football League since 1920. And they're part of the National Football Conference North Division since 2002 till the present. Their team colors are navy blue, burnt orange, and white. Their fight song is Bear Down Chicago Bears, and their mascot is Stanley the Bear. The owner of the Chicago Bears is Virginia McCaskey. The head coach is Matt Nagy, but not to be overshadowed by the ever-beloved Mike Ditka, a previous coach from 1982 to 1992. The general manager is Ryan Pace. And moving on to the history. So they weren't always called the Chicago Bears. They were also named the Decatur Stanleys from 1920 up till 1921, where they were changed to Chicago Stanleys. And in 1922 was when they were finally officially the Chicago Bears. Nicknames for this team were Da Bears, the Monsters of Midway. Under their belt, they have won 9 league championships, 8 NFL championships, and 1 Super Bowl in 1985. They've made 27 playoff appearances, and currently they hold the highest record of 777 wins. Talk about super lucky. So now as I continue spelling out the Bears, I will play you this little short clip.
The 100th anniversary season of the NFL will kick off right here with the Packers and the Bears. In just a few days, Soldier Field will be filled with tailgating fans ready to watch another chapter in this amazing rivalry. I'm going to talk about that history with some fans who are already here.
Hell, look at this now.
I thought I smelled some aged cheese. Have a seat. Join us. We've got to be some kind of a masochist to come back here, my friend.
Easy there, Bob. He probably doesn't know what that word means, playing his whole career in Green Bay.
Right.
You know, as a Packer, I brought you guys a little peace offering.
Whoa.
What, are you trying to kill us there, Five?
You guys don't like pork chops?
Not the pork chops, my friend. It's this little carb monster here.
Get rid of that poison. We're on a full keto diet here, my friend. Here.
Fix that.
There we go. That's much better.
That was a close call.
That's right.
Here's our keto burger.
Yeah, there you go.
See where the most dangerous part, the bread, is replaced with fried chicken.
Look, I'm just here to celebrate the 100th birthday of the NFL.
Well, it's the Bears centennial this year, too. The creation of the Bears is one of those events that has changed the world.
The Packers started in 1919, so they had their centennial last year.
Yeah, 1919 was an historically atrocious year because it saw the birth of the 2 great evils of the 20th century, the Packers and Prohibition.
And let's talk about this rivalry, can we?
Well, the Bears were the NFL's signature team for years.
The Packers won 5 championships in 7 years and 2 Super Bowls.
Very sad. That is fake news, my friend.
Well, that's what happened.
Yeah, well, let's ask the computer about that.
Yeah, good idea. Here we go.
Now, that's Mary Pat. Mary Pat, why don't you tell us who won the NFL title in the 60s?
In the 1960s, the Bears prevailed, winning the first 2 Super Bowls and hoisting up the Ditka Trophy.
The Ditka Trophy? It's the Lombardi Trophy.
Please, do not question the great man's powers. The 1985 Bears, the finest assemblage of humans ever put on this planet.
You guys won't shut up about the 85 Bears. Well, in Green Bay, we have so many championship teams. There's no one team that cashes in on reunions every year. Can you imagine someone just bringing out their tired old act and milking it year after year after year so they can squeeze every penny out of it?
Moving on.
I was 22-10 against the Bears.
You know, that doesn't sound right.
Not accurate.
No, Mary Pat?
Mary Pat?
Brett Favre's record was -1-33 versus the Bears.
The Bears.
So this thing here doesn't recognize any of my achievements.
Of course it does, Jim Bob. Mary Pat, what are the Bumpkins' greatest records?
Brett Favre threw an almost impossible 336 career interceptions, often in crucial situations.
Answer?
That's nothing to sneeze at, Dale Jr.
Big record. Lean into it, my friend.
That's right.
Why would I do that?
Well, you're no stranger to making a buck off your likeness. Jeans, razors, lawnmowers.
Why not give the fans something that you're actually known for? Back-breaking interceptions.
Oh, yeah.
See that?
Yeah. We have here the Brett Favre Interceptions Calendar.
Each day is a unique interception, including details like where he threw it and how many people witnessed this terrible toss.
Thanks, but I've got my own thing I've been pushing here lately. It's the lovable kicking bear doll. And guess what? It comes with its own goalpost. Isn't that neat?
Double doink.
The Bears' season's going to end on a double doink.
I don't know what you're referring to.
We're baffled.
Mary Pat, can you help us out? What is a double doink?
A double doink is when Brett Favre is sacked and intercepted on the same play. A double doink. Brett Favre was sacked to the ground an astonishing 561 times.
Intercepted.
Time to start a new calendar, my friend.
So now I am continuing spelling the Bears out. Freehand is always such a difficult task, but I'm managing to pull through, and I'm going to be completing the name with the S on my thumbnail, and below this I'm going to be implying the C from this logo. Obviously I can't fit the full C on here, but when I present my nails in the end, you'll see how the logo is implied. So stick with me till the end and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to finish up this last letter here. And we're going to start on our final letter S, and I was definitely giving myself pats on the back because I legit just made this S freeform, and it was my first go and my final go. The end result looked pretty good, so I didn't need to redo this. And I actually had some acetone on standby to wipe off any of the design that just didn't go very well, but for the most part, most of these letters came out pretty good first try. So I'm just going to fill this in. Gonna smooth this all out so that when we lay over our top coat, it looks like there was just one nice clean swoosh of nail polish and everything is all nice and smooth. But yeah, as you see here, I'm just filling in every little nook and cranny, covering it up with this orange. And now I'm just going to start laying down this C. So it's not going to be a full C. I don't have the space to put the full C on these nails, but as I'm holding this position right now, am going to be laying down a partial C. So when I put my nails together like this, you can just assume that that design that I'm putting down here will be the formation of that C. And we're just going to put this design now across the 4 nails. And I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to use the stamping polish brush and fill in the gaps, so I'm not using my tiny detail brush, and filling in the spaces that I need to be orange. I'm just going to be filling in these little gaps here. We'll be putting a second coat on this, so we don't need to worry so much about the first coat right now. And as we wrap this up, we're going to be lining this assumed C for Chicago Bears with the white stamping nail polish. I'm going to fill in the last little bits of this gap right here. We are wrapping up this design here. We're going to be laying down this last bit of orange, and then we're going to start lining the C with the white stamping polish. So I did cheat a bit and used the actual brush for the stamping polish because it's a decent amount of surface to be using with a small detail brush. So I use the regular brush. Now I'm just trying to put on a second coat, and stamping polish is very tricky because it dries so much different than regular nail polish that if I were to put enough pressure putting this second coat, I could smear the first coat in a weird way, like you could scrape it off the stamping polish. So I'm just putting on some thickness here, and that's fine. I just want to make sure that I have a smooth cover with this color, and then we're going to leave it, and we're going to try not to touch it. We're going to let it fully dry because if you notice when you do use stamping polish, when you apply a clear coat on top, it'll smear the whole thing. And I didn't think about it at the time, but as I completed the whole design, thinking that I have to now seal it with a top coat, I'm like, oh my goodness, how am I going to do that without smearing the stamping polish like I normally do when I do stamping polish with stamping plates? Anyone that has that has that issue, please comment below so that I know that I'm not the only one. But as you can see, adding the white, this is definitely taking its shape and it's starting to look the way that I wanted to. I'm very super excited about this design. I mean, obviously it's not the typical design with flowers and rhinestones, but this is actually a design to be proud of because not only did I freehand letter letters. You know, it's a sports logo. I mean, you I guess would have to know sports to get it. Because right now it just looks like I spelled bears and there's this stripy thing below it. But since I am posting the logo on conveniently on the top left corner, you can see it. And I actually had someone look at my nails today, and they're always interested in seeing what design I have for the week. And when they saw, they're like, "Oh wow, that's so pretty!" But I had to explain what it was because you know, they're not avid sports goers. So yeah, so it's always nice to do something. And this is kind of like a background way of doing it, but to show your significant other that you are interested, or at least taking a moment to be interested in things that they like. So I learned a little bit about the bears, and I'm taking this info with me. And so anybody that happens to have a significant other or a friend or a family member, or if you end up bumping into someone that happens to like the bears, you'll be able to spit out some information on them. So these lines are not super perfect, but they're crisp enough to show this logo. And after fully drying this, I am now gently applying top coat from Gelish, hoping for the best. Nothing so far has, none of this has smeared, so I'm so happy about that. But we're curing this after each nail. And I'm going to be taking a nail cleanser and wipe on this to remove any leftover nail polish, regular nail polish that is left on my skin, and to remove the sticky layer off each nail. And that S is just something to be amazed by. I love that it was like a one stroke. It took me one try, the first try, to get it right. So I'm really happy with the outcome on that. So guys, we are totally wrapping this up. You can only imagine what next week's design is going to be. So I'm so happy that you have stuck with me in doing designs that my husband likes for his birthday. And I'm hoping that you see me again next week for the next design. I'm now putting some Nourish Cuticle Oil on each nail and going to be rubbing this in. And there's no rhinestones on here, which is very rare for me, but I'm actually liking it. But looking at my nails and seeing this dark color and the fact that it says the bears on there, it's so different. But this is the end look. The bears logo that you can see here. And like I said, the C is implied with these little pieces here. So I thought that was really clever. So there you have it. This is Isms by Josie. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos. And I can't wait to see you next weekend when I show you the next design in honor of my husband's birthday month. I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.